My name is Donald K. Scott. I'm one of the attorneys at Hochman and Plunkett. I'd like to talk today about violations of specific safety regulations in an Ohio workers' compensation claim. The workers' compensation laws in Ohio provide that no employer shall violate an Ohio safety regulation. If an employer does violate a safety regulation, the employer may be subject to a penalty for a violation of the specific safety regulation, which is also referred to as a VSSR. These regulations are contained in the Ohio Administrative Code, and it's important to understand at the outset that the Ohio Administrative Code safety regulations are not the same as OSHA regulations. OSHA is a federal regulation, and they are much more extensive than the Ohio Administrative Code safety regulations that apply to Ohio employers. Now, these regulations, these VSSR regulations, are broken down into certain categories. A couple of the most notable ones are categories that apply to workshops and factories and construction industry. There's also provisions for the steel industry, window washing. These regulations are in place to attempt to encourage employers to have more safe workplaces. If an injury at work is found to have resulted from an employer's violation of a specific safety regulation, a VSSR application is filed, and it has to be filed within 2 years of the date of injury. Some examples of safety regulations that are encountered frequently would be an employee who falls from a height because proper safety equipment is not provided. An employer's hand may be caught in a machine where a safety device has either been removed or disengaged to increase productivity on the machine. If those things occur and a safety application, a violation of a safety regulation application is filed, it will be assigned to an investigator for the state of Ohio who will investigate the circumstances of the alleged violation. There will be pictures taken. The investigator will conduct interviews and take written statements. The matter will then be set for a hearing before the Industrial Commission of Ohio, a staff hearing officer of the Industrial Commission of Ohio, to determine if the injury resulted from the employer's violation of a safety regulation. If the hearing officer, after the hearing, finds that the employer did violate a safety regulation that caused the injury, then the hearing officer would issue an order assigning anywhere from 15% to 50% additional compensation in a claim that the employer must pay directly out of its own pocket. The hearing officer would also order that the employer correct the safety violation as quickly as possible. And also, it is noteworthy that if an employer has 2 safety violations that are found within a 24-month period, there can be an additional civil penalty that will be imposed by the Industrial Commission, and that can be as much as $50,000. So it can be a significant penalty for an employer, and it's something to consider in a workers' compensation claim if there's been a violation of a specific safety regulation. Thank you, and I hope this information has been helpful.